Yeah, that breaking news that we're starting with this morning, 49ers owner Jed York has been arrested in Ohio.
Yeah, and according to court documents, apparently he was arrested on suspicion of engaging in prostitution.
Well, troops, you really couldn't make this stuff up. Just when you thought the Rangers takeover couldn't get any more chaotic, along comes Jed York, the wee horny bugger that he is. The man who helped bring the American 49ers ownership group into Rangers has somehow managed to make headlines in America for something that has absolutely nothing to do with football. And believe me, this is one story where the phrase off-field issues doesn't even begin to cover it. Jed York, the co-owner of Rangers and principal owner of the San Francisco 49ers, has been arrested in Ohio. Yes, arrested. And before we go any further, let's get the legal bit absolutely clear. York was initially charged with engaging in prostitution. That charge was later amended to disorderly conduct as part of a plea agreement. York then pleaded no contest to disorderly conduct and possessing criminal tools. He was sentenced to 1 day in jail on each charge, with the sentences running concurrently, and because he had already spent a day in custody, that counted as time served. He was also fined $1,150. So, legally speaking, we need to be precise here. We're not saying Jed York was convicted of prostitution. He wasn't. We're talking about the original allegation, the subsequent amended charge, and the 2 misdemeanor offences he ultimately pleaded no contest to. And now that we've got the legal disclaimer out of the way, what on earth was going on, Jed? According to court records, York allegedly responded to an online advertisement and arranged to meet an undercover officer at a mobile home community in East Palestine, Ohio. The reported amount involved? $140. $140. This man is a billionaire-level sports executive involved with some of the biggest sporting organisations in the world, and apparently his master plan was, right, I'll just bring $140. Mate, I've seen more sophisticated transfer negotiations between the old Rangers and the taxman, and this is where the story gets absolutely ridiculous. York reportedly turned up at the meeting location, only to discover that the person he was meeting was part of an undercover operation, and that's when the game plan changed from, what's the next step, to, what's my lawyer's number? You couldn't write this. Actually, you probably could. Because if Netflix pitched this as a comedy, you'd accuse them of making it too unrealistic. The man is involved in Rangers, a club that has spent the last year dealing with managerial chaos, boardroom upheaval, fan unrest and transfer drama. And now, one of the owners has managed to create an entirely new category of Rangers news. American owner arrested in Ohio. That's not a sentence I had on my Rangers bingo card. And there's another detail that makes this even more bizarre. One of the charges York ultimately pleaded no contest to was possessing criminal tools, and according to prosecutors, that related to the use of his phone to respond to the online advertisement. So apparently, the phone was the dangerous piece of equipment. Forget VAR, forget recruitment, forget sporting directors. Rangers have apparently discovered a new piece of sporting technology, the criminal mobile phone. I'm joking, obviously, but you couldn't ask for a more ridiculous headline. And spare a thought for whoever handles communications at Rangers. Imagine getting that phone call. Hello, Rangers Media Department. Yes, we've got a situation. What sort of situation? Jed York has been arrested. Right. Football related? No. Financial? No. Transfer related? Definitely not. Can we put out a statement? Probably best not. And Rangers have in fact said very little. The club and the 49ers have declined to comment on the matter. The 49ers said the legal matter had been resolved and that they would not provide further comment. Meanwhile, the NFL has said it is aware of the matter and will review it under its personal conduct policy. So this isn't just some random guy who happens to support Rangers. This is one of the people at the top of the ownership structure. And that's why this story is relevant to Scottish football, because the 49ers Enterprises takeover was supposed to represent a new era for Rangers. American investment, big ambitions, modern infrastructure, a fresh approach. And I'm sure absolutely nobody involved in the takeover had this particular version of American expansion written into the business plan. Phase 1, acquire Rangers. Phase 2, invest in the squad. Phase 3, get arrested in Ohio. Hold on, Jed. We need to revisit Phase 3.